Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cryptid Cyber. So today's video is going to be a little bit different than some of the other videos that we've done because today I actually wanted to carry out an experiment. And for context, earlier this week, really, I had a good discussion with some individuals who I respect highly and who are currently looking for jobs in the cybersecurity realm. These individuals are incredibly skilled, incredibly talented, have years of experience, multiple certifications, high education, and they are still struggling to find work. And this really kind of got me thinking. It got me really interested in the idea that, maybe the market is as terrible as they say it is. And, I kind of wanted to see how deep could we dig in to see that. Now, a lot of you individuals watching this probably or maybe in the same boat. You may be looking at it saying, I was promised that if I learned cybersecurity skill sets, certifications, education, that I'd be able to always have a fruitful and fulfilling career. And while I do believe that is still true, I'm going to be honest. I think that this market does have a lot of issues at the current time. So that's really what got me going on this and saying, how about I put myself in the middle of this? I am a scientist after all. So therefore, why don't I utilize myself and see just how bad the market really is right now? All right, if we're going to approach this even slightly scientifically, I did want to kind of do a little bit of an explanation in terms of some of the controls and some of the understandings that we need to have about myself in order to actually play this experiment out and maybe get some functional results. So my background has a lot of different things in it. Going over my formal education, I do have an undergraduate degree in economics. I have a master's of business administration, a secondary master's of cybersecurity, as well as I am a doctoral candidate, just about to finish my doctorate in cybersecurity analytics. I have these from very reputable, regionally accredited universities from all over the United States. And I have a lot of skill sets associated aligning with this formal education. Outside of the formal education realm, I do have over 20 professional certifications. Some of those that I'll list here, I have my CISSP, my CISM, my CISA, my PMP, my Agile Certified Practitioner. I have my CCSP. I have a ISSAP, excuse me. From ISC2, I have a lot of different professional certifications that are constantly reoccurring and being asked for within many of the job postings that we're going to be looking at today. Now, with this being said, I am going to go through this and I'm only going to be applying for jobs that actually align with my current skill sets. I'm not just going to be picking random jobs that just appear. I'm going to be looking at cybersecurity direct roles, and I'm going to be looking at roles that for my specific resume, I would align and fit more within that. What I mean by that is I am going to pretty much only be applying for manager or director level roles because that is what my skill sets align to. I don't want to apply for some of those roles of single contributor that maybe I'm overqualified for, mainly because I don't want to skew the data because I could easily be dismissed because I'm overqualified, or I could easily be looked at as here's an individual who has far more than we're asking for and he's willing to come in and take this role even though he's far more skilled that way. So within that realm, I want to make sure that I'm aligning, that I'm trying to only apply for jobs that are within the realm of what my specific background and the scope of my education and knowledge align with. Now, in addition to this, I'm also going to take it out of my own mindset perspective, and I'm going to do kind of a sanity check with some AI. What I mean by that is I'm actually going to upload my resume into an AI agent, and then I'm going to then upload the job posting, and I'm going to ask for an AI to actually review my resume, my skill sets, and align it with the job posting to see if I am an ideal candidate. I will only be applying for those jobs that I at least hit a 70%, at minimum 70%, because that's usually a good rule of thumb around the idea to, some skills can be learned, but we'd like to have the majority of skills established for some of these roles. So within this kind of secondary AI analysis, I'm going to ask it for three specific things. First up, I really want to know, am I a candidate that would probably align with what they're actually posting out there? What they're posting publicly, what they're looking for, is that something that I align with? That's number one. Number two would be, what gaps do I have within my resume? Is there something that might be stopping me? Is there something that maybe I am not aware of that would make it so I wouldn't be an ideal candidate overall? And then, really, the last thing is I'd love to know more of a percentile in terms of what are my chances? How closely do I fit? Like I said, I want to make sure that I'm at least at that 70% that we talked about earlier, but I'd like to see, am I an ideal fit based upon what that correlation and that analysis is showing? All right, here at this section, I'm actually showing some of the jobs that I have applied to for this experiment. Now, yes, I have kept the names of the specific companies out. This is not an experiment that we are meant to shame, blame, or point fingers, more an idea to understand just how the market is doing. So if you'll notice, I have blacked out and I have censored out their names where applicable, because that's not the concept here. The concept is we want to actually see what is going on with the market overall. So as you can see on screen here, there are several different things that I've applied for. There are several different positions that I show as a good fit. And we'll kind of show a little bit more about how do I align in terms of my specific skill sets with some of these job postings. You're seeing all these on screen at the moment, and really you're probably seeing that, okay, these might be very similar to what I have done. These are things that I might be looking to do the exact same thing. How am I aligning? Now, really, the next step is going to be, how well are these actually going to play out? Am I going to get calls back for an interview? Am I going to be seriously considered for some of these? You know what? That's up next, and let's see how the overall process went. All right, I'm gonna open up this next section with being incredibly honest with you all. Some of this was incredibly shocking, not because I'm an ideal candidate or a unicorn in any regard, but the simple magnitude of rejections was even startling for me. I'm showing on the screen right now, you can see the rejections I got, even related to the alignment, my education, my skill sets, my abilities, which, once again, these are not perfect. These are just the realities right now that you can be educated, certified, as well as skilled, and you can still be absolutely getting rejected. And that's a reality right now. And it's actually a really humbling and sobering reality. It's something that is honestly pretty disheartening. And I hear a lot of individuals within this market right now are struggling with this exact issue. I really wanted to bring this up because I wanted all of you to hear it from an individual who is almost done with a doctorate degree in cybersecurity, holds multiple industry standard certifications, is skilled in everything from coding to hacking to auditing, pen testing, everything like that. And I'm still actually not even being given the courtesy of an interview when I apply for some of these jobs. Now, granted, this was only experimental. This really was to see, is the market as bad as they say it is? And I'm sad to report that not only is the current market as bad as they say it is, it's actually a little bit worse than I even expected. On a sobering note, in addition to this, I did want to make sure it's very clear all of these answers were received within 24 hours of the initial application that I sent in. And what that indicates to me is most of these were A, not reviewed by a human. I don't know that for sure. Some of that could be a little bit of conjecture. However, the timeline indicates that if it was reviewed by a human individual and not an AI, filtering system, that it was done very cursory without a lot of overview. It was done in a regard that, it was so quick without even a request for interview, more clarifications, or anything else, that it seemed almost dismissive of a process as much as I've ever seen, as well as the fact that with that time frame kind of turnaround, these are all jobs that were currently open at the time that I applied. I didn't specifically align these. These were ones that were just open, and I was being disregarded within 24 hours. This is obviously kind of a frightening understanding and a reality that, is really sobering. And there's some key points that I want to bring up here, but I also want to realign all of us here to understand that this is not all doom and gloom. Not everything is awful. Now, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. The market and the economy right now is garbage. It's absolute garbage right now. So if you are an individual who is currently trying to find work, trying to align your skill set specifically within the cybersecurity realm, and you're not having any luck, I want you to understand this. This is not due to you, your abilities, and your skill set. This is a market that an individual like me, who is not a unicorn, is not a perfect individual. However, you'd think that maybe someone with some of the education skill sets they're being asked for would even be asked for an interview and being disregarded within a 24-hour period. That's not you. That is absolutely a indication that the market sucks, that the HR departments are not aligned with actually what is needed in the market, as well as the fact that within this market right now, they are not willing, and when I say they, I mean the companies are not willing to take any risks on any individual who is not an absolute unicorn right now. Money is tight. Economically, things are tight. They are looking for an individual who is going to be a unicorn. And they're also going to look for an individual who is only willing to work 80 hours in the standard 40-hour week, because that's the kind of economy we're in. And I bring all these up because I want you, who might feel disheartened, who might feel down, and might feel discouraged right now, to understand that none of these are a reflection or an indication of you and your skill sets. You are capable and you are fully functional as a cybersecurity practitioner. The market is just garbage. I really want everyone who is listening right now to understand one thing. Economies, they fluctuate. The economy right now is garbage. It won't stay that way. It won't forever be garbage. And why is that important? It's important because you, as a practitioner, need to continue to learn, continue to adapt, and continue to get the skill sets that are going to continue to be very valuable in the future. Right now is tough. We're really going through a pretty horrible time in terms of the economy. However, it's not going to stay that way, like I mentioned, and you need to be ready with the skill sets, abilities to take up the mantle and make the world a safer digital place in the future. And you will actually be able to benefit from that in monetary means, in skill set means, in work-life balance means, all those different ways. That time is coming. Right now, even though it's hard, that doesn't mean you need to get discouraged or stop learning. In fact, right now, that's exactly what you should be doing, because there are more bright and really opportunistic futures out there that are coming, and they're going to be coming quickly, and you need to be prepared for those. I know this has kind of been a little bit of a harder video, guys, and I understand that it's a really heavy subject that a lot of individuals watching might really kind of connect with, because it is a really hard time in our current economy. But I really just want to reiterate that yes, the reality right now is things are bad, but they won't stay that way. And you need to make sure that you are keeping up and evolving yourself, because when things do become brighter, you need to be ready to be able to pick up all the responsibilities that I know all of you are capable of, as well as the fact that really, you guys just make sure, do not stop learning. That's the most important thing I can tell individuals right now. Do not stop learning. Do not stop. Because right now, that's exactly what we need. We are entering into a phase where new technologies, evolving threats, and things are absolutely manifesting every single day. We need to be able to have you individuals, as the practitioners that you are, ready to pick up those mantles as they come. Because I promise you this, individuals are going to recognize your strength, your power, and your functionalities sooner than you realize. And really, things are going to start blowing up in a good way for all of you. Keep with it. I'll be there to help you along the way. Feel free to reach out if there's anything that I can help you with. And please, please do not stop learning. That'll do it for today's episode. I really appreciate all of you coming along with me. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time on Cryptid Cyber, where we are bringing you security beyond belief. See you guys.